wait a second. You're making $500,000 on this deal?
Roughly.
I cannot believe you.
Rose, listen to me. I can explain.
You are making $500,000 and you were only gonna pay me 30?
You're getting 30 grand? I'm getting 1,000!
You guys are getting paid?
Hey yo, so what video are we doing this week? Let's see. Here we go. Ooh, we've got mixing. Mixing? Yeah, dude, what's the problem? The problem are these stats, Do you see these clicking on anything other than Travis Scott videos? Did you see the stats of the last mixing tutorial? Bro, what's the best performing video this year? What are the best performing videos in the last 2 months? Oh, wow. Yeah, wow. Now, if you don't get your ass back in that studio and cook up a bouncy Travis Scott trap banger right now, I'm finna fold you, bro, no cap. Cause I ain't editing no more flops. Give the people what they want, Chew. Hello, beautiful person. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chew, and today I'm going to be showing you how I go about making dark, bouncy trap beats inspired by Travis Scott. The support on the channel recently has been amazing, especially with these Travis Scott videos. It seems pretty clear that you guys really fuck with these types of videos, so I'd be stupid not to keep making them, right? But hopefully I don't just become the Travis Scott type beat guy. You guys do remember I make other kinds of stuff, right? Anyways, it's a good thing I have fun making these kinds of beats. Like this one, the beat I'll be showing you today. I love making these kinds of bouncy trap beats inspired by WONDAGURL'S production for Travis Scott and Don Toliver. I know this may seem like a complicated beat, but if you give me like, I don't know, 10, what is it gonna be? 10? Yeah, if you give me like 10 minutes, I'll show you how you can make trap bangers just like this one. Okay, just a few things, you know, YouTube business and all. Join my Discord, link in the description. Drop a like on this video if you end up learning something new or just enjoying the content. And if that subscribe button is red, go ahead and smack it so you never miss another video. All that really helps my channel against the YouTube algorithm. Hit the first link in my description to get my free 14 drum kit and a full checklist guide on how to make money as a producer, also for free. Last thing, there's a link in the description and pinned comment to my private beat making group where you can get the FLP to this beat and many others. We also do private lessons, Q&As, and beat reviews. So go ahead and click that to join up. Okay, enough of that boring shit. Let's get into this heat because you are going to love what I have to show you today. Okay, so everything starts with the sampling system, and the first parts of this is finding the sample. So WONDAGURL is a legend when it comes to flipping samples. A lot of her best productions were actually made using samples. One of my favorite examples is Uptown, which she made for Travis Scott and A$AP Ferg.
I was looking in a few drum kits and I found this like one Bollywood sample that was like amazing to me.
I really did want to go for that kind of vibe too, so I searched on TrackLib for a foreign sample and eventually found this. Oh, and today's video is sponsored by TrackLib because I actually use them. They are the world's first and only online record store, and they have tens of thousands of tracks for you to start sampling right away. Something I really like about TrackLib is that artists can clear most of the samples I use from there for only $50. And this will allow for 2 to 20% revenue share since 90% of TrackLib samples are in their C category. This is just a really convenient way to find and clear samples, especially when you compare it to the traditional method of paying anywhere from $5,000 to $200,000, drafting many contracts, and going through countless lawyers over an excruciatingly long period of time. Trust me, I know from experience how difficult that can be. And that's why I know that TrackLib can save any musician from tons of stress and hassle. TrackLib has given me a special link where you can access their entire platform for 30 days at no cost. And on top of that, they threw in 15 download tokens so you can get to crate digging right away. So head to the link in my description and start sampling the right way. Huge thank you to the wonderful people over at TrackLib for sponsoring this video and making this dope content possible. Okay, now let's get into chopping the sample. So I opened the sample in Edison and cut out parts to make an 8-bar section that looped. Then I condensed this 8-bar section into one audio file by rendering my entire playlist to wave. Next, I opened this loop in Fruity Slicer. I selected the 1 beat slicing option, and to be real with you, I never really use a different one when I open up the slicer. And I also turned up the attack so that the chops would fade in better without any clicking or popping in between each. Then I got to work laying down my chops. At some point, I increased the tempo from 91 beats per minute to 122 beats per minute. Something to note, whenever you change your tempo while using the Fruity Slicer, your chops won't stretch with the tempo. You'll have to use this time shift slider in the slicer to manually adjust and stretch your chops. So here's how my chops came out sounding. I also created this second section for variation. Okay, now let's talk about the signature aspect of WONDAGURL'S production, drums. I approach these drums in a pretty unique way. I'll do my best to try to explain this because I really think what I came up with will help you capture WONDAGURL'S bounce. So for the first part of my drum programming, I did something that I refer to as click theory. I noticed that WONDAGURL'S new style of production makes really good use of perks, especially rim snares or any kind of drum that makes a sort of click sound. I call it click theory because whenever I beatbox, I make a clicking sound with my mouth to imitate the snares and perks. The goal is to have these clicking drum sounds drive the bounce of your beat. So let me show you how I did this here. First, I laid down this rim perk to use as my main snare. And I added this double hit at every other snare because that's just the pattern I came up with when I was beatboxing. Next, I added this second rim snare and used it to make a fill. I also panned these using the note panning in the piano roll. Then I used this rim to do some bounce snares. And then I use this other rim to fill in basically the rest of the bounce snare spots. So here's how all my clicks sound so far. Now, the thing that WONDAGURL does to really bring click theory to the next level is mix it with more traditional sounding trap snares. But the key is she'll place these snares in unconventional spots since most of the bounce snare spots have already been taken up by the clicks. And I think this is what really gives her beats that unique bounce because it's just so uncommon to hear snares programmed like that, and it really does make for a more interesting listening experience. So for this beat, I added this snare first. Then I programmed one more like this. So here's how all my snares sound now. Okay, so the next thing we have to talk about with drums is the concept of spacing. WONDAGURL doesn't make simple beats.
I usually like kind of go in and I don't make a lot of simple beats.
Her production is usually filled with many interesting elements and layers, yet her beats never sound cluttered. This is because she programs everything with the concept of spacing in mind. Spacing in your drum programming will add bounce to your beats by allowing there to be certain areas where most, if not all, of your drums stop playing within your pattern. One of the best ways to use spacing is with your hi-hat programming. Gone are the days of the straight up two-step pattern. We just don't hear many people getting away with it anymore, and I certainly don't hear much of it in WONDAGURL'S newer stuff. A strategy I like to use is filling out a full two-step hi-hat pattern and then coming in to mute certain notes until I come up with something I like. Here's how I did that for this beat. I added some rolls too because I still did want to keep things interesting. Now, here's where the sauce really comes in. You want to add a second hi-hat and create a new pattern that complements the bounce of the first one while still taking into account the concept of spacing. So here's my second hi-hat pattern. I also added this open hat in a few spots to complement my closed hats. Here's what all my hats sound like together. Perhaps the most noticeable part of WondaGurl's production is her hard-hitting kicks and 808s. Even though her 808s seem complicated, a lot of the time she's really just working off of that root note. I've noticed that WondaGurl doesn't use OD amounts of notes when she's programming her 808s either. I think mostly because it defeats from the entire purpose of spacing in the first place. It really is more about where she's placing the notes and the bounce she's creating as she does. So here's my 808 pattern. As you can see, it really is just the root note here. The only thing out of the ordinary is this stutter I created to simulate a reversed 808. I did also make a second 808 pattern for variation. And lastly, I laid down this kick. So here is a really helpful tip when making WondaGurl type beats. If you want your drums to hit harder, specifically your kick and 808, just level all of your sounds like normal, but try to leave a lot of headroom. Then just turn up your 808 and kick. There's literally like no other special trick other than that for getting your drums to smack hard. Just level everything cleanly and then push up the volumes of everything you want to stand out. Something I found that helps a lot is if you add a soft clipper to your master after you've leveled everything and then push your kick and 808 into the clipper. For an example, here's my beat with just the leveling. Now I'll push up my 808 and kick. And now I'll add a clipper and then push my 808 and kick into it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and learned a few new interesting things. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning, the support has been crazy lately. If you keep showing these videos love, then I'll keep making them. In fact, let's do more Travis Scott next time. Maybe Trav and Mike Dean? Yeah. Anyways, be sure to drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss out on valuable tips and tricks, and share this video with a friend who could use some help making hard-hitting trap beats. I hope you have a dope day. Peace.
Yeah, oh. Yeah. This is America! Don't get you slipping up! Cause of my area! I got the strap! Yeah! Hey! I got the carry! Yeah, I'ma go into this! Yeah, this is real! Whoa! Yeah, I'ma go get the bag!